It's Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I do apologize. You may hear some snoring. Nugget is taking a power nap. She usually naps about this time of day, so I do apologize. But other than that, let's get right into what's happening. A lot to talk about. We want to talk about the inflation numbers that came in today, some of the market news. But first off, I want to start with a show that I was watching yesterday. And it's Jack Morgan, RLP. Jack has mentioned me numerous times on his show. I've given Jack a couple of shout outs. He has a really good show, very entertaining, very witty guy, good sense of humor, but a really good show. So check him out, Jack Morgan, RLP. But as I'm watching it yesterday, and this is a show that aired 2 or 3 days ago, and he was taking some calls. And there was a gentleman that called in, and he goes by the name of Get Your Money Up. And so he called in, and they're talking about dating, marriage, the economy, all kinds of things. And this individual who goes by Get Your Money Up from New York, 28 years old, he wanted to bring up a YouTuber, and that YouTuber was me, Jeremiah Babe. And so they talked about my channel for a couple minutes, and I thought it was pretty fascinating because of what this gentleman had to say. He said that he used to laugh at what I would talk about on my channel. He used to laugh at me. And he said that he actually almost seemed like he almost got upset because back in 2021, I used the word biblical, that we would see biblical events unfold here in America. And he was just really taken back by it. And now he says that he says he's been watching my channel quite a bit, and I want to thank you. Get Your Money Up. Thank you very much for watching and sticking with the channel. You don't always have to agree, but it's amazing how many people who have written me who said that they used to laugh, make fun of me, now apologize because the things that I was talking about a few years ago are now beginning to happen. And look, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a prophet. I'm connecting the dots just like most of you. We can see what's going on now, and we could see years ago what was coming. And here we are today in 2024. But I thought it was really interesting because this is a younger guy, and he is now really paying attention. And he's paying attention. He says, look, the banks are closing. The internet has gone down, stores are closing. He talked about how I would go out over the years and show the stores that have closed, the lease signs that are up, the vacancies, and that I was backing it up, right? And this gentleman said that he's prepared to lose his job. He's got 3 to 6 months of preps put away. He said he got his cash out of the bank, held up a pile of cash that he got out of the bank. He said he put it somewhere where he can get to it if he needs to. One thing I would say to get your money up, if you're watching today, one thing I would say to you is don't keep it all in cash. You should have some gold. You should have some silver. I think you should be a little bit more diversified. Maybe you have the gold and silver, but if you don't just keep it all in cash. Have a little bit of gold. Have a little bit of silver put away, because if you believe what I believe in, and that is things are going to get worse, the dollar is going to be more challenged, then you probably want to be holding some ounces right now. If you need help with that, go to my link down below, SD Bullion. But then Jack said a few things too. And, you know, Jack said that, you know, he's a fan of the show. I'm a fan of his show. But he said that, you know, sometimes I just say some crazy things, or sometimes I can be an intense person. And I say this to Jack, if you ever want to come to California and do a collaboration and go to LA, we can go down to LA and you will see why I'm very intense and passionate about what I'm saying, because parts of California now, San Francisco, Oakland, Los Angeles, look like they've come out of an apocalyptic movie. And what's happening here is going to continue to happen across the United States of America. And I'm sure you living in Florida, you've probably talked to people who have escaped New York, and that's another apocalyptic movie. This is why I'm very passionate. This is why I'm really serious about what's happening. This is why I talk about situational awareness and having security and having preparations. And it's not to freak people out, but it is to wake people up to take action. And so, Jack, anytime you want to come out here and see what's happening out here in the real world and how bad it is, because it's probably going to be coming out your way at some point. I mean, we have gangs flying from South America into California just to rob homes. We've had 900 home burglaries in Los Angeles already this year, and many of them were targets by these organized gangs, this organized crime that is coming from Central and South America, flying into California just to rob Californians. So anytime you want to come out here, you have a huge invitation. Jack Morgan, RLP, really, really good channel. Look, I'm just walking the walk and trying to keep it real. I'm really worried about my fellow Americans, and you all got to be taking this stuff seriously because we've got more news to talk about today. So if the crime and the chaos doesn't wake you up, maybe the markets will. Dow Jones down 422 points today. The inflation news was not good. It came in hotter than expected. 10-year bond yields 4.54 as I make this video. I saw it as high as 4.56. Bankrate.com, 30-year mortgage, 7.02%. And it is probably more likely than not that next week you're going to see the 30-year mortgage sitting at probably close to 7.5%. One thing that I will say, watching this disaster today, it is getting harder and harder to manipulate the data. And what I mean by that is they can tell us that inflation's 3.5%, came in hotter than expected. We all know it's much, much higher than that. But they can't, this is as good as they can make it. And they're having a difficult time now hiding what is going on, because the average person who is going to the grocery store, going to the gas pump, paying for a service, cannot keep up with this. They cannot keep up with this. I have no idea how people are doing this. The price of literally everything is going up, but the things that we use every day, gasoline and food, is soaring. Hot inflation data pushes markets rate cut expectations to September. So they just keep pushing the hope further and further out. Remember, it was 6 or 7 rate cuts this year, and January we'll get a cut, and January happened, we didn't get no cut. February, no cut. March, no cut. Here we are in April, no cut. Now you can pretty much kiss June, July, that's all gone. Now we're pushing it out to September. And it's probably not going to happen in September. It's probably not going to happen at all. There's no way the Fed is going to cut rates. They cannot do it. If they do, they're going to create a major disaster. Pain is coming, America. Pain is coming. I hope everybody continues to prepare. I've been making these videos for 7 years because you could already see years ago the writing on the wall. And the people who really woke up years ago and have been preparing for years are going to be much better off than the people who obviously were not prepared, or the people who are trying to prepare right now. Time is now against you. Time is not your friend. Fox Business, where are high prices hitting American families the hardest? Well, here's a couple places. Rent up 5.7% from the same time last year. Food is up 2.2% from the same time last year. Energy, such as gasoline, up 6% from the prior month. And we are now approaching, oil was up $1 today. We're going to be hitting $90 easily by the beginning of the summer, in my opinion. Cars and used cars. Used cars were down 2.2% year over year. New cars down 0.1% year over year. But the big issue when it comes to automobiles is auto insurance, which is up 22% year over year. So maybe you can afford to buy a car, but can you afford to drive the car? Now think about it. Gasoline skyrocketing. The cheapest regular gas out here is $5 a gallon. If you want to use a premium gas at a better gas station like Chevron, you're now getting closer to $6. But your auto insurance is up 22%, and now oil prices are surging. So it's going to get much more difficult to actually operate the vehicle now. CNBC, here's the inflation breakdown. As I said earlier, CPI rose 3.5% in March on an annual basis, up 0.4% on the month. March year over year price changes. Just a few examples here. And I mean, I do not know how people, especially with kids, are keeping up with this. Juice and drinks up 27.5%. Beef up 11.2%. Baby food and formula up 9.9%. Lettuce up 5.8%. Tomatoes up 4.5%. Going to a restaurant is up 6.1%. Car insurance, 22%. This is March year over year price changes. And think about how much more expensive it is than it was 3 years ago. This is just year over year. You go back 3 years ago, and these numbers are absolutely staggering. Imports from China to the U.S. are rising at the fastest rate since last fall. So prices of goods continue to go up. So when you go to Walmart and you need to buy something off the shelf there, pots, pans, clothes, a pair of shoes, whatever, it's going up. And you know, people back in the day thought it was great. They could go to Walmart and save money, even though all their jobs were shipped over to China. But it was okay. You sacrificed your jobs for cheap products. But now those cheap products are no longer cheap. Problem is, all those good manufacturing jobs are gone. And so now the tables are being turned on America. And it's not so cheap to shop at Walmart anymore, especially when millions upon millions of manufacturing jobs have left here and gone there. I don't know how people are going to do it. You know, people were shopping at Walmart and they couldn't afford to go there. They had to go to the dollar stores. And now there's nothing for $1 at the dollar stores. The credit cards are running out. People have wiped out their savings. There's no stimmies coming to save America. People took the bait. And they spent like crazy, and they bought stuff that they could never really afford. But because they got free money, they didn't have to pay rent. Their mortgages could go into a moratorium. They were able to, you know, have a year or a year and a half to party and just really live in this fantasy land and think that this was not going to cause inflation down the road, that this was going to go on forever, that there was nothing to worry about. And now there's a lot to worry about because the $6 or $7 trillion that we pumped in to the economy over a 30-month period during the health crisis, where people just, you know, were going out and buying RVs and boats and cars and staying at home and not paying their bills and watching TV and playing video games all day. Now it's time to pay the piper. And people are dead broke. Now the toys, the cars, the RVs, the stuff's getting repossessed. They can't afford to insure it. They can't afford to operate this stuff. People are losing jobs. They are tapped out. And if it wasn't for credit cards right now, this economy, this country would look a whole lot different. But the more people rely on credit cards, the more they rely on debt, the worse the situation is going to get. The debt slaves are not going to win, ladies and gentlemen. The debt slaves are going to pay a very serious price here. And unfortunately, there are millions of people out there that are debt slaves. The rich are getting second passports, citing risk of instability. CNBC today. People are getting worried. There's no doubt about it. They see the lawlessness. They see the civil disobedience, the societal breakdown taking place here in America. And look, the wealthier people are much more astute, much more awake, aware, educated with what's happening with the U.S. economy. And I don't think they like what they see. And so they're getting passports. Problem is, there is really going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. If you think you're going to be better off somewhere else, maybe, I guess maybe there's somewhere out there that you might be. But if this country goes down, the rest of the world is going to go down with it. Maybe not as bad as it will be here, but you know, we talked to Bill Holter last summer, and this question came up that, you know, if you're an American, you're going to another country to escape what's happening here, people aren't going to really like Americans. In fact, a lot of the world doesn't like Americans right now. But once everything collapses, and it is going to, America is going to take a lot of the blame for this, because America is going to be very responsible for a lot of this global collapse. And they're not going to like Americans in most places of the world. Now, if you have a place that you think is going to be better off than America, please comment down below. Love to know where you're going. But I truly do believe, like Bill Holter, there is going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. So you might as well just stay here, and you might as well just be getting prepared right now. Because if you think you're going to get on a plane and get all your money out of the country and you're going to be safe somewhere, I wish you the best of luck. Maybe it'll work out for you, but I think the odds are going to be against you. And you just think about how all the financials are so tied together that this country has so much control of your wealth. Even trying to get out of here, they'll do everything they can to stop you from taking your money. And if your money is in another bank somewhere else, they can take that too. So, there's a lot of moving parts here. I certainly don't have all the answers. But please comment down below. Where would you go? Where would you run? Where would you hide if things got bad? Me, I'm going to stay here. I love this country. This is my country. I'm going to stay here. I will go down with the ship. LA Times, California spent billions of dollars on homelessness without tracking where it went or how it worked. $24 billion in the last 5 years went to the homeless problem here in California, in Los Angeles. Question is, where's the money? Because homelessness is surging. It is growing year over year. Where is the money? Where did it go? Where's the accountability? Where's our tax money going? This is really appalling to think that, this money was to go and help people on the streets. $24 billion. I don't think Los Angeles has looked any worse than it does now. There are more people homeless in Los Angeles now than ever before. Where's the money? Where's the money? The taxpayers should be furious. There should be accountability. Obviously, money has been stolen. There's been a huge theft here. We talk about this bank robbery last week. Now, it was an armored car company. Their vault got robbed. Money in their warehouse, whatever it was, $30 million. And it's like, wow, this is incredible, $30 million. This is $24 billion, ladies and gentlemen, of our money here in California. $24 billion robbed, gone, disappeared, while homelessness is soaring. Unbelievable. I hope that at some point there is accountability. But we are living in crazy times where people can just take money, they can take your tax dollars, they can do whatever they want, and it seems like there's nothing you can do about it. I'll tell you, if this keeps up, there's going to be big problems, because I think at some point when people lose their jobs, they lose their retirements, they lose their savings, they lose their futures, they're going to lose their minds, and you're going to have huge, huge trouble. I cannot believe that this stuff keeps going and escalating the way it is. And people just don't care. They just don't care. McDonald's, I'm going to close with this last one. McDonald's $25 deal goes viral. Users blame California's minimum wage increase. Your new normal. So there was a TikTok video floating around, and this individual shows up at a McDonald's in Southern California. A 40-piece chicken McNugget meal with 2 large fries, no drink, $25.35. This is, I guess it was over $27 with tax. You didn't even get a Coke. Unbelievable what is going on. And my question, as I've asked a million times before, how are people surviving right now? How are families, a family of 4, husband, wife, 2 kids, how in the world are they doing this? I mean, people can't even afford to go to McDonald's. They can't even afford to go shop at one of these dollar stores now. Paying car insurance, health insurance, property insurance. It's unbelievable, the cost out there now. And of course, taxes continue to go up. You've got to pay your property taxes, sales tax, income tax. What's left at the end of the day? While the cost of everything is going up. And I have to say that I think that that some of these companies are definitely gouging people at this point. That some of the food companies, for example, I think no doubt, there is no doubt inflation. There is no doubt shortages, labor costs. I understand all that. But I think that there is a lot of gouging going on right now too. People are not getting what they're paying for. They're getting a lot less. The quality continues to slip. The service slips. It's just a bad state of affairs any way you look at it. Is it going to improve anytime soon? Probably not. I think personally it's going to get worse in 2024. I'm not even going to speculate what's going to happen in 2025. It's too far away. But right now we got to deal with the short term. What's coming tomorrow? What's coming next week? I'm not even going to look really much further out than what's happening tomorrow and the next day and next week. But I do think it's going to get much, much worse this year. I'm going to leave it there today. Please feel free. Comment down below. I want to know your thoughts. Again, a lot of inspiration in the comments. A lot of really bright people out there, much brighter than myself. Keep waking people up. Keep inspiring people. Those comments have been an absolute miracle. Jack Morgan, RLP, check out his channel. He's a good guy. He's interviewing a lot of people, playing a lot of TikTok videos of people talking about what they're experiencing with the economy. So it's really an enlightening show, an eye-opener to how other people are thinking, how they're going day to day, trying to survive. People with huge amounts of debt, people with student loan debt, they can't get ahead. So check out that channel. Like I said, Jack, anytime you want to come to LA and see the apocalypse in person, you're more than invited. We should be down in the southern part of this country in the next couple months. And so we might be pretty close to you, Jack, so maybe we can meet up and talk about things. That'd be really, really cool. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day. God bless. Be walking close to God. Be careful out there.